Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and salutations and blessings to the hopeful members of the elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, teaching this word in sincerity and in truth, and those that believe on this word in sincerity and in truth, and helps. And also the sisters that are trying to do the right thing. This video is going to be called, I think I'm going to call it Male and Female Created He Them. And the reason I called it this is due to last week or last Saturday, the question was asked by this cat that come out week in and week out, but he's like a vocab Malone, so to speak. He tries to fight against the word, but he just can't resist but trying to come out and learn from us. And he looks like another nation. In my opinion, I think he's a Jake. You know, only time will tell, and that's for the Most High to sort all out. But anyway, he posed a question: was it only Adam and Eve created back in the beginning? And we started to go into it, but the spirit kept changing and switching all over the place. So, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, hopefully in this lesson, I can convey the point or the proof that there were actually nations on the, for lack of a better word, because they weren't called nations at the time, but you had people created abundantly on the fifth day in the book of Genesis, the first chapter. And on the sixth day is when the powers or the angels said that they were going to make man in their image and in their likeness, and give him understanding and wisdom and knowledge to have dominion over the earth and over the seas. Salakia. So with that being said, Lord will, I got these scriptures lined up, and hopefully through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the point can be conveyed, or the point can be proven through the spirit. So the first scripture I'm going to start with is right here in the book of Genesis, the first chapter and the 20th verse. It says, "And the power said," because that word God is not the Most High's name. The word there is Elohim, or people would say Elohim, but the proper way of saying is Allah, Allah Hayam, which is the powers or the judges, the angels. So it says, "And the power said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament." Now this is when people were created, because people is a creature. People were created on the fifth day, men and women. Now to prove that people are creatures, I got two scriptures here. The first one is in Mark, the 16th chapter, and the 15th verse. This is Yahweh Shai speaking. He says here, "And he said unto them, Go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature." Now, here it tells you that let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that have life. It ain't talking about going to preach the gospel to fowl that fly above the heaven, nor great whales that are in the sea. It's talking about people, because creatures that were made on the fifth day included fowl of the heaven, the animals of the sea, and men and women. Men and women. Because it said, let the waters bring forth abundantly. The word abundantly, we know what that means. That means a lot. The moving creature that have life. And man and woman is a moving creature that have life. Right? So let's get another scripture to prove that men and women are creatures. It says, this is Romans 8:19. It says, for the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who have subjected the same in hope. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of the Most High. Now, that's not talking about fowl of the heavens or whales of the sea. This is talking about men that are going to be delivered from the bondage of corruption, which is these bodies, into the glorious liberty of the children of the Most High. So this is the creature in Genesis 1:20 is talking about men and women. And I'm going to jump right here. And the 22nd verse says, and the Most High blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. So the creature was the birds, different type of birds, men, women, and the animals of the sea. Right? Now, the 23rd verse, and the evening and the morning were the fifth day. So at this point, this 1,000-year period, you had men and women on the planet Earth here just living, not knowing why they were here or anything, because at this point they didn't have the knowledge and the understanding in this 5,000 years. So this 1,000 years, you had these creatures that were created. These creatures that were created, they were on the earth without any understanding. They were just operating according to instinct as they were created. Now, from here, I want to go to 2nd Ezra to prove that they were made man and woman were made on the fifth day. This is 2nd Ezra 6, and I'm going to start at 47. It says, upon the fifth day thou settest unto the seventh part, where the waters were gathered, that it should bring forth living creatures, fowls and fishes, and so it came to pass. Now we already established the creatures. For the dumb water and without life brought forth living things at the commandment of the Most High, that all people might praise thy wondrous works. Then didst thou ordain two living creatures, the one thou callest Enoch, or Chanawak. That's how you would say it in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, is Chanawak, which is a conjunction of words. And we're going to get into that word Enoch. Now, what I did was I looked up Enoch in the Blue Letter Bible. Salakia, let me go back a little bit. Here we go here. Genesis 5 and 24. And Enoch walked with the Most High, and he was not, for the Most High took him. Or that word there is Elohim. And he was not, for the angels took him. The powers took him. And Enoch walked with the powers, or the angels, or the judges, and he was not, for the angels or the judges took him. Now the word Enoch, like I said, the Hebrew word is Chanawach. Chanawach. Right? Let's look it up. Enoch, dedicated. Hanak, dedicated. Kanak, H2596, initiated. Kanak, an antediluvian patriarch. Enoch, initiated or initiating, right? Now let's click this, the root word, which the root word is kanak. Kanak, right? And it says dedicate, train up, to train, dedicate, inaugurate, to train up, to dedicate. Now, when you read in the scriptures, names were very important. Names were what they call nomen omens. And Enoch got that name as a nomen omen because, as the scripture said in Genesis 5 and 24, and Enoch walked with the angels, and he was not, for the powers took him, meaning he walked uprightly. He did as, when we go to Genesis, let's go back to Genesis 1 and skip down to the 26th verse. And the power said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So the powers created man in his own image, or in their own image. In the image of the angels created he him. Male and female created he them. So what Enoch did, he walked as an angel on the planet Earth. He did what he was supposed to do in the sight of the Most High, because he was created in the image of the angels to be like an angel. Meaning what? He was given laws, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? He was given laws, statutes, and commandments to abide by while he walked on the earth. So at this point here, on the 6th day, is when the Most High grabbed up a group, and he gave them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's what it means when it says, and the power said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Meaning, let's give him an understanding. Let's give him a law so that he can abide by while he is on the earth. Now let's go back to 2nd Ezra, and we're going to come back here in Genesis 1. 2nd Ezra 5 and 49. Then didst thou ordain 2 living creatures, the one thou callest Enoch, we just broke that down, and the other Leviathan. Now Enoch, like I said, it means to be trained up, dedicated, inaugurated, meaning his name was a nomen omen, and that's why he was taken, because he was righteous on the planet Earth. And the Most High took him for walking uprightly. Verse 50, it says, and did it separate the one from the other. The seven part, namely, where the water was gathered together, might not hold them both. Unto Enoch thou gavest one part which was dried up the third day, which was what we call the earth, that he should dwell in the same part, wherein are 1,000 hills. But unto Leviathan thou gavest the seventh part, namely the moist, and hast kept him to be devoured of whom thou wilt and when. Right? So Enoch, the Most High gave Enoch the one part which was dried up the third day, which is the earth. So man and woman, pursuant to this, was created on the fifth day, and they was over the earth. And Leviathan, because remember it said, bring forth abundantly the moving creature that have life. You know, if they all would have stayed in the waters, it wouldn't have been like the scripture said. It wouldn't hold them both. So he gave Enoch, or the upright, the dedicated, the ones to train up the earth, the dry part, and he gave Leviathan the seas. Right? Now, I read 52. Now let's go into 53. Upon the sixth day thou gavest commandment unto the earth that before thee it should bring forth beasts, cattle, and creeping things. And after these Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. Now, going back right here to Genesis 1, this is where man was given understanding. This is where he was given understanding in the sixth day, because they were already here, but the sixth day is when the 6,000 years when the understanding was given to the Adamites. Where we at? Second Ezra, Salakia. All this I have spoken, verse 55. All this I have spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people which also come of Adam, because you had other people, thou hast said that they are nothing but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So, going back to Genesis 1, the creature again, man, woman, fowls in the air, and sea animals. Going back to Genesis, 2 Ezra 5, the Most High parted the Enoch from Leviathan, meaning he gave the man and woman the earth, mainly man, the earth, and he gave the waters to Leviathan. Right? Now, we just read upon the sixth day he created Adam. Adam, the man, was given understanding of all things. He was made in the image of the angels. And I'm going to read it. It says, and the power said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So the powers created man in his own image, or in their own image. In the image of the powers created he him. Male and female created he them. And the powers blessed them, and the powers said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. So this is when the Adam was given, or the Adamites were given the dominion over the earth, because they had what? The understanding, the wisdom and knowledge. They were gods on the planet earth. Now let's go to Genesis, the 2nd chapter, because this was brought up, but I wasn't able to explain it fully on the street. Genesis 2:7, it says, and Yahweh, now this is the Most High right here. When you see all caps, I'm gonna prove it. This is when the Most High name is introduced in the scriptures in the 2nd chapter. Right? Now let's go. Genesis 2:7, it says, and Yahweh powers formed man of the dust of the ground. Meaning what? Meaning the men that were created, going back, the men and women that were created, going back to the Genesis 1:20, on the 5th day, they came as the color of the ground. Skin textures as the earth. Right? And this is off right here. This don't mean Adam don't mean man. That's not man in the Hebrew. Man in the Hebrew is Ayash. This is Esau going off on the blue letter to trap you up. This of Adam or Adamah is here it is right here, the ground. The word here should be Ayash. Ayash for man, not Adam. Right? It should be Ayash there for man and Adamah down here for the ground. So man and woman in the beginning all had a pigmentation, all had a form of brown skin or skin of the earth. And that's the first fold of that right there. The second fold of that is the dust of the ground represent confusion. So at first, on the 5th day, they were in a state of confusion. Like I said, they didn't know why they were there, or didn't have an understanding of the Most High. So this is when the Most High took them out of that state of confusion, because it says here, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So at that moment, on the 6th day, the Most High took them out of that confused state. The Most High took them out of that confused state and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Now let's figure out what this breath of life is. Wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter, and I'm going to start at the 22nd verse. It says, for wisdom, which is the worker, Salakia. For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me. For in her is an understanding spirit, holy, one only, manifold, subtile, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving the thing that is good, quick, which cannot be letted, ready to do good, kind to man, steadfast, sure, free from care, having all power, overseeing all things, and going through all understanding, pure and most subtile spirits. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore, can no undefiled thing fall into her, right? For she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of the Most High, and the image of His goodness. So here it is here. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High. Now going back to Genesis 2, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. So this is when the Most High took Adam out of that confused state and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul. And this is how Adam named all the animals. And this is how they had dominion over the animals. As it said, that all, let's see if we can find it. Said, let them have dominion over all the earth. It's back in the book of Genesis 1. Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it. Verse 28. And subdue it right here. After they got the breath of life, this was them getting the breath of life right here in the 26th verse, 27th verse. After they got the wisdom and understanding, which that's a form of power, spiritual power, the angels told them to subdue the earth and have dominion over everything, the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and every living thing that moveth upon the earth. So this is when they became the gods, for lack of a better term, on the planet Earth. When they got the breath of life, when they got the wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Excuse me. Now, another scripture to prove that there were more than one man and one woman. It's Genesis 5:1. This is the book of the generations of Adam. And the day that the powers created man, in the likeness of the powers made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam, in the day when they were created. So, just a quick recap. Genesis 1:20. The waters brought forth abundantly moving creatures that have life. Creatures are not only animals of the sea or fowls of the heaven, but also man and woman, pursuant to Mark 16:15, Romans 8:19, right? So man and woman were created on the fifth day, and in the second chapter. I'm sorry. Let's go back. The first chapter, after the fifth day, is when they were taken out of the confused state and given an image, or given wisdom and knowledge and power and understanding of the Most High first, the law, statutes, and commandments, and dominion over the entire planet Earth, which was the sixth day. And he chose out of all them people, there was a man Adam, and there was also the people Adam, which were called the Adamites. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull that scripture where it says, and called their name Adam. Bear with me real quick. Yeah, I had it up already. Let me go back to it. Genesis 5:2. Male and female created he them and blessed them and called their name Adam. So you had the Adamites in the day when they were created. And then of the Adamites, you had actual Adam, or Adama, right? So going back to Genesis 1, man and woman were created on the fifth day. They were in the confused state. The 6 days when they got the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, which is the breath of life, pursuing the wisdom of Solomon. 7, as we read here. Uh, we proved to you that Enoch was given the land, and Enoch means dedicated, trained up, and we read that in not Wisdom of Solomon, but we read that in 2nd Ezra 5. On the 5th day, thou ordainedest 2 creatures. One was the Leviathan, which was given the ocean or the seas, and the other was Enoch, the trained up ones, the dedicated ones, was given the earth, wherein are 1,000 hills. And when they were formed of the dust of the ground, meaning they were the same color as the earth, this is why Cain was cursed from the earth. The scripture tell you, cursed from the earth. And Cain said, wherever I go, they shall kill me. Why? Because he was cursed from looking like the rest of the people on the planet. He was the first leper. Right? Also, the second twofold of this is the confused state that man was in. And after the confused state, the Most High breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, which is, like I said, going back to Wisdom of Solomon 7, for she is the breath of the power of the Most High. And we just read just a few scriptures describing what wisdom is. You know, the things pertaining to wisdom. And this is what was given to Adam and the Adamites. So, Lord will, this was edifying to those spirits and brothers out there that brothers that's in the spirit needed to hear this. And Lord will, like I said, Lord will was edifying, pretty clear. And yeah, like I said, man, until next time, I would give all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles and elders, and salutations and blessings to the elect. And again, Lord will, it was edifying. Until next time, Shalom.